My name is John Hamill, and I belong to the Tsimshian Nation, and I am a member of the Lesquite tribe, the Eagle Clan. My Indian name is Gemp, which means the sun. My uncle is a wing chief with the Eagle Clan, and I am his strength. This is a gift that I got from my mother on my journey. The eagle feather is something that I made myself. The eagle feather is a connection to our spirit world. The eagle is our closest connection to the spirit world, and a lot of our ancestors are there, and a lot of our elders are there. What the eagle represents is there was a visionary at one time that said that our people will not move into healing until 7 generations have passed. And at that time, it'll be the women who lead our people into healing. In 1960, and he said this will not happen until the eagle has landed on the moon. In 1967, Neil Armstrong stepped off as Apollo, and he said, the eagle has landed. And one of the flip chart presentations is a significant elder in your life. And from that, the youth will chart down a trait that they've admired or were taught by an elder. That may be wisdom or generosity, how you have used that trait in your life today. So the students will identify where they have used, for instance, wisdom in their life. A youth may say, I've used wisdom to help my younger brothers and sisters. Now that learning is now implemented in their life. The responsibilities of a youth are to seek an elder, to be helpful for that elder, to run errands, maybe chop wood, to ask for wisdom. Responsibilities of the elder, to model positive behavior, to watch youth and grandchildren's events, to offer wisdom, and to share stories and legends. Both generations will need patience and determination. They are both between both worlds. Technology is a huge gap. I am presently doing this workshop with the First Nation Studies 12 at Howe Sound Secondary School. The students here are giving me permission to work with their displays I've done here. The center is mine. The sun represents a happy and functional family. The rainbow represents there's still problems, but people are working through them. The cloudy or stormy weather means there's a lot of problems still in that household. Number A is that. B is something that your family has had trouble dealing with in the past, grief and anger. The strength that they have within the family, my family is love for each other. How did the elders play a role in your life? Mine offered words of wisdom and were part-time caretakers. Who was an influential role model in my life? My grandfather Sankey. He told me many stories and legends and words of wisdom and built my self-esteem. How did the children contribute towards the family? They contributed to family duties, respect to elders and adults, be responsible, and stay out of trouble. How do you see your family in the future? To have a happy and healthy family and be a successful contributing member to my community. An example here with another student, she has had trouble with grief. Her mom would be her strength, and her mom is also her role model. And for responsibilities, only child, she was the only child, so she was everyone's favorite when she was little. And this other student here, there's a lot going on in their life here, as you can see. Trouble with almost everything. Her boyfriend was the only person who could read her and know how she was feeling. For her, she felt that people in her life were abusers and untrustworthy. So obviously this young lady needs some help to work through things. This one here, there are some rainbows there still. And difficult for her was her parents splitting up and my brother and I not finishing high school. And her mom was her strength and her grandmother is something she's worked up to. So this group is working really well and they've made a lot of ground and there's a lot of trust within the circle with this group, and I have a good feeling that we're going to progress through the rest of our workshops. So once the group has accomplished all of the workshops and identified the elder in their life and found the things that they have learned from the elders, the traits, I would suggest that when the group is coherent and we're working together, now they're ready to host an elders luncheon, to bring the elder and the youth together, i.e. bridging the gap. And from there, You never know what can happen. Wonderful things can happen from there. Another excellent idea that I have is for them to do a video project, and for them to do a video interview with the elders, and something that could be titled Voices of the Elders and the Youth. Some existing programs that are around today, in North Van there's a handygranddaughters.ca program, Adopt a Native Elder program. Another program is International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. Storytelling festivals are held in some communities. Friends of Wisdom of the Elders is another program that could be good. And the Wisdom Keepers Council. As I mentioned, my grandfather Sankey was a very influential person in my life. This is his All Native basketball team from 1929 to 34. He's in the center in the middle, right above the ball. And he was the captain of the team. They dominated the Northern Provincials for 5 years in a row. And all my uncles grew up to be awesome basketball players. When Grandpa Sankey turned 80, he was honored at the Prince Rupert All Native Basketball Tournament, and he was known as an ace. And at that time, he got up and shot 10 for 10 from the foul line. I thank you for that, Grandfather Sankey. One of the things that he did with me was sat with me for hours and hours and told me stories and legends. And the one that he's told over and over and over, it took about 20 years for it to come true to my life, but that's when it came through. And the story that he shared, he'd say, Johnny, he said, when I was younger, there was this young fella named Bobby Johnson. And Bobby Johnson wandered into the forest one night, and he was wandering through the woods, and out from the woods popped an owl. And the owl looked at him and called his name. Bobby Johnson didn't know what to do, so he carried on his trail and he went home. The next morning, Bobby Johnson was dead. My grandfather told me, he said, Johnny, if you're out in the forest and the owl calls your name, he said, you stand there and you talk to the owl, and you talk to the owl until the sun comes up. When the sun comes up, the owl will drop dead. When I was going to college in 1995, I got to a point where I was very frustrated and almost gave up on school. I came home and threw my books into the corner, and there was somebody there that cared about me, and that person said, what's the matter? I said, I'm about to quit school. I've had it. I'll go back to work. And this person said, what about the legend that your grandfather told you? And I said, what about it? And she said, think about it. And I thought about it, and I thought, yes, I need to stand there and face my problem and not walk away and continue until the problem is solved. And that's how my grandfather's legend has applied to my life today. I thank you for that, grandfathers and grandmothers in the spirit world.